If you want to make a lot of money, excuse me, if you want to make a lot of money versus a little money, then it would really behoove everybody here to learn how to sell. So I want to talk to you today about the 7 laws of selling. And I just want to give you some juice from things that has helped that have helped us, I should say, be able to sell products to people clear across the world. And I want to be able to, I just want to help you today. Okay, so let's go. Let's get straight into it. Um, the first law of selling, excuse me, is the law of signaling. All right, I got 7 laws, and the first law is the law of signaling. He says, so what is signaling? What does that mean, Brother Rick? What I'm saying is that people signaling is mopping, sweeping before you mop. It's not hard to mop a floor if you sweep it real good. Have ever have you ever tried to mop a floor and you start getting a whole lot of dust inside of the mop? And that's because you just didn't really sweep real good before you started mopping. Well, that's a problem. And it's aggravating too, isn't it? Because it's like you got to start, it's like you got to go back to the beginning and start doing again what you was doing before. When if you had just swept thoroughly, the mopping part would have been fun. I like to mop personally, but the reason I enjoy it is because I make sure I move all the furniture out the way, then I make sure that I sweep everything. And then after I sweep everything, then mopping is enjoyable because you don't have to keep stopping and starting, keep stopping and starting, keep stopping and starting, and blowing your momentum, which is part of another law too. So law number 1 is signal before you try to sell something. The holiday season is coming up. People are buying and spending money in record numbers. You hear a person saying, man, I ain't got no money. I'm like, well, sell something. They're like, well, I don't know how to sell anything. I'm like, well, take a class on selling something. All right. And today's selling is so much different from the type of selling that people had to do 5 or 10 years ago, because today you have the online component. So with the online component, you can literally come out of obscurity relatively quickly, and you can make more money in this last quarter, these last 2.5 months of the year. You can make more money than that's why like these stores around the world, these retail stores, they about to make enough money in these next 2 months to sustain them throughout the entire year, because the selling is about to go through the roof, because they've been signaling all year. And because they've been signaling all year, now selling is going to be a piece of cake, because they've been sweeping all year. Now they're about to mop up coming up and over these next couple of months. And you can do the same thing. So first of all, let me really explain to you what I mean by this. When I was in school and I was taking this class, I was taking this course on marketing. And so we got together. This lady, the teacher, she gave us all $100,000, fake $100,000 in the class, and said, all right, make it rain. We got 10 weeks. So in week number 2, we had $200,000. We thought we were doing good. Week number 3, we had a little bit more than that. But we looked up and we had a team who was doing bad. In fact, they were losing money. They was in the red, and we was laughing at them. We was like, oh man, these guys, they don't know how to manage no doggone money. They don't know how to manage a budget. And we're going to kill them. We're going to be number 1 before this thing is over with. Well, around week number 6, these people went up to about $700,000, boom, out the clear blue sky like that in sales. And we was like, what in the world happened? How they go up to 700,000 and we still hoovering around 200,000, thinking we doing something? Well, you know what happened? They, well, let me finish explaining the story. So we didn't know what was going on. So we looked at their budget and we saw that they had put $25,000 in advertising. So we said, okay, we're going to put 25,000 in advertising too, so that we can catch up with these guys. So the next week, our money went up about $100,000 to $200,000 in 1 quarter by itself. And we were happy about that. But we looked at them and they was up over $1 million. By the time the class was over with, they had left us so far behind until we was coughing and gagging off their smoke. So I asked the teacher, I said, what in the world happened? I said, why is it that they beat us so badly? She said, well, they was advertising. I said, no, they weren't just the ones advertising. We was advertising too, because we looked at their budget and we started spending the same amount of money they were spending. She said, yeah. She said, but by the time people saw your ads, they weren't paying attention to your ads, because they had been seeing their ads for the entire tenure of the 10 weeks that we've been doing this. She said, so when they saw their ads, and they saw yours, they didn't believe yours, but they believed theirs. They weren't comfortable with you. They were comfortable with them. Why? Because they had been sending out signals. And that's what advertising is. That's what coming on here live is. That's what sending, writing books to people is. That's what it's like, making the soil of the ground tender so that you can plant some seed in it so that the seed will grow. And that's why signaling is so important. Now, y'all digging what I'm saying? Are y'all hear what I'm saying? So everybody put number one, signal. All right, everybody put in the chat, signal. That's the number one. If you want to sell real good, start out by signaling, okay? So number one, signal. Everybody put signal in the chat, and I'll teach you number two. All right? Signal, let's go. Signal, signal. Stop trying to sell people stuff directly because it doesn't work. And it's not necessary. It's a lazy way to approach human beings because human beings don't do business like that. A human being need to see you. They need to see you from 7 to 11 times and have some interaction with you before they start buying your stuff. All right. So you don't expect people to buy things from you the first time they set eyes on you. It's not realistic. Okay. And it's a selfish way to approach dealing with a human being. And you're not going to make any money like that. We make millions of dollars, but it's because we signal a lot. You say, what do you mean, Brother Ricky? See, a signal means that you just counted a privilege to be able to make somebody aware of what it is that you're doing. Whether they ever do anything about it or not, that's up to them. You just want to make them aware of what's going on. All right. Because people appreciate what? They appreciate what? You and I, we appreciate people doing what? Making us aware of something. Isn't that true? Don't you appreciate that? I know I do. When it's something that you tell me about that I wasn't aware of, and now I'm aware of it, then now it gives me an inkling to want to find out more about, what it is that you're doing. The problem with the average individual is that the average individual don't want to send out no signal. They just want to mock, but they don't want to sweep. And I'm telling you, I came by here just for a few minutes to talk to you about these laws because these laws are irrefutable. In a law, it works all the time. You never, you never send out signals consistently and don't make sales. It's impossible. Why? Because the Bible says, "Be not deceived, for God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap." I mean, it has to happen. Are you hearing me? There's no way in the world you cannot make sales if you send out signals. So why is a person focusing on sales instead of signals? It's because people are just not trained correctly. All right. If you train correctly, then listen, I'm gonna send out a signal before I send out some sales. So that's number one, send out a signal. Then people will pick up your signal. And when a person picks up your signal, not only is it easy for you to sell something to the person, but it's impossible for the person not to buy it. Why? Because everybody today has money in their pocket and they're looking for some place to spend it. Everybody that's walking around the face of the earth. The only question is that who can signal the person more? The most successful signal is the one that picks up the sale, because the sale is just what? A return signal. All right. So everybody put RS in the chat so y'all understand what I'm talking about. When a person writes a check, all they're doing is just returning your signal. Are you hearing me? I said, when a person writes a check, all they're doing is returning the signal. So everybody put RS in the chat, because the sale ain't nothing but a return signal. If you have somebody that's in the middle of the ocean and they can't see, and they drowning, or they on a ship and it look like the ship is going down, and somebody is up there in that big tower shining their lights saying, "Is anybody out there? Is anybody out there? Is anybody out there?" And you know that you're so happy that somebody is sending you a signal, because you're like, "Man, I thought I was going to die out here." And you start sending your signal back. "Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go." Well, that's what a check is. The check is a person telling you, "Hey, thank you for help saving my life." Why do people write checks? Write a check because you want your health to be better. Write a check because you want your relationship to be better. You write a check because you want to be entertained. You write a check because you need some more, because you want some more money. You write a check for reasons that, because the money don't mean nothing to you. It's the thing that you write the check for, that means more to you than the money. So when somebody sends you a signal of something that means more than the money that's in your pocket, then you gladly write them a check. And you really what? You really was looking for them, but you didn't know where they were. But then when you saw their signal, then you were drawn to their signal. Did y'all get that? All right. This is the 7 laws. These are just 7 laws of selling. There are many more, but I'm just giving you 7 right now. So the number 1 law is signal people. Stop trying to sell something directly to somebody. Send out signals. Listen, I look online and I say, I wasn't going to even be teaching anything today, but I look online. I'm like, my brothers and my sisters need to learn how to sell. I'm like, why are they not online right now, live, talking to somebody? I'm like, why are you not sending a signal out? I'm just looking on the screen today, and I'm like, nobody out of all these people, these hundreds of thousands of people that's on our social media site, And I'm just looking at all these followers and stuff, and I don't see none of these people live today. I'm like, why aren't you live talking about what it is that you sell? I mean, why aren't you sending signals out today about what it is that you do? Why aren't you making people aware of who you are? All right. Why aren't you making people aware of how they can get in touch with you? In fact, why aren't you sending out signals that are not necessarily trying to sell anybody anything, but just signals to let the person know that I'm available here to help you if you want some help. All right. And then eventually people will start paying attention to your signals. All right. Listen, people don't buy things from you right away necessarily. I've had people who have told me, Brother Ricky, I've been watching you for 2 years. And then I decided I wanted to be a part of what you was doing. I'm like, well, good for you. Why? Because I'm already a part of what I'm doing. I already get my money back from the bank. I already got $1.4 million back, working on 40 million. All right, working on the $4 million check and a $40 million check. I'm like, so good for you. All right. So when you signal to people, it's not like you're just directly trying to get them to do what you're doing. You just let them know what it is that you're doing. And then if they decide they want to do it, good for them. All right. And if they see your signal long enough, then they'll realize, what the heck? I want to buy something. I want to learn more. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And that way you don't have to be like trying to coerce people into doing things, because that's not a good lifestyle to live for a king and a queen. We're kings and queens, and we don't live like that. All right. What we do is we let people know what's going on, and then you can do something with it if you want to. All right. And God bless you either way. All right. So that's the way selling goes. Selling, the laws of selling is not chasing nobody and trying to coerce them into doing something. If you was in the middle of that lake, like I was just saying, nobody would have to force you to say, yes, send me a lifeline, send me a lifeline, send me a lifeline, save me, save me, save. Nobody would have to force you to do that. All right. You'd be sending that signal out big time. And that's all checks out. All right. So that's number one, signal. Everybody got that? Good morning. Good morning to you as well. All right. So number two, the first law of selling is signaling. The second law of selling is serving. Okay. You say, what do you mean, Brother Rick? Listen to me good. God put me and you on this earth for one reason, to serve him and then serve each other. And that's it. See, if you can simplify your life, you can make a lot of money. Why? Because you'll make a lot of money just doing what you were called to do in the first place. And that's serve. You say, so what do you mean by serving? Serving means literally taking orders. This is a reason why it's hard for people to sell. You say, why? Because they don't know how to take orders. What do you mean? When you walk into the restaurant and you say, and the lady asks you, can I what? Can I have your order? Or the gentleman asks you, can I have your order? You say, okay, let me get a steak. I like it well done. Let me get a baked potato, and let me get some Brussels sprouts. Okay, what you gonna have to drink? I have some Don Perignon, 1776. Had to put a little player flavor up in there. All right. So the lady said, let me make sure I got that right. Did you say that you want a well done steak, and that you like to have some Brussels sprouts, and that you like to have a baked potato? And you said, that's correct. She said, all right, great. And you're going to have some Don Perignon, 1776 to wash it down. You got that right. So what did she do? She took your order. So then she brings you out what? A well done steak. She brings you out a baked potato and some Brussels sprouts, and then and put you some Don Perignon 1776 on the rocks. What you gonna do? You're gonna write her a check and tip her. Why? Because she got your order correct. Selling is what? Taking orders. But how can you sell somebody something if you don't know their order? How can you perform an order that you don't that the person did not give you? That's my point. All right. So you say it's hard for me to sell things, Brother Rick. Nobody wants to buy anything from me. I'm like, no, it's not that nobody wants to buy anything from you. It's that you don't know what they want to buy. You say, what do you mean I don't know what they want to buy? How could you possibly know what a person want to buy if you don't take their order? That's why all of you all who have companies, it would behoove you to do what? To send out questionnaires, to like, for example, we have something called Scorecard. One thing that you can do is go to scorecard.com, and my good friend Daniel Priestley created this. Daniel Priestley is a master salesperson. He sells all over the world, and we've been on the same stage together with my friend Myron Golden. So Daniel Priestley, he's got a great book. He's got some great books. I highly recommend his books. One of his books is called Oversubscribed by Daniel Priestley. It's a great book to learn how to sell. In fact, it teaches you how to have more people trying to buy things from you than you even have the time to sell, and let everybody know you have to wait in line until your opportunity comes. That's why it's called Oversubscribed by Daniel Priestley. And Daniel Priestley also has a book called Scorecard. So I bought the program that he has with a scorecard. And what it does is it allows you to get people, it allows you to have people to take tests. And when they take tests, they tell you inside the test what it is that they want. All right. And then you can have a meeting with them and then give them what it is that they want. And people will gladly pay you for what it is that they want, but they won't pay you a penny for what it is that you want, unless what you want is what they want. But how do you know what a person wants unless you look, unless you take their order, unless you serve them? Are you listening to me? Once you start serving people, they start writing you checks. Let me get another example of what I'm talking about. We have Abraham in the book of Genesis. Abraham is sitting out in this place called Mamre, which means the unknown place. It's hot outside, and three angels show up. When the angels show up, Abraham runs over to meet these guys, and he said, "Hey, fellas, how y'all doing?" He said, "Come on over here and let me wash your feet, and sit against the and sit over here up under the shade in the tree." Then he washed their feet. He said, "Man, I'm coming to my crib and let me give you something to eat." So he brought him in the crib and gave him something to eat. So he's doing what? He's serving these people. So because he's serving them, they started doing what? They started writing checks. They said, "Man, let me tell you something. Where's your wife at?" He says, "She in the crib." He said, "Go get her." He said, "Listen, about a year this time, you all gonna have a baby, a natural child, even though you're 100 years old and Sarah's 90. Don't worry about none of that. Why? Because we love the signals that you sent out. We love the service that you're giving us. And now we're doing what? We're gonna write you a check." All right. Are y'all listening to me? So if you'll serve somebody, take their order. All right. All right. So everybody, let's put TO in the chat. All right. Let's learn how to take some orders. Don't stop giving people orders and learn how to take orders. Okay. If you take some orders, people just write you checks. What? Come on, put TO in the chat. Let's go. Come on, TO. And train your kids like this too. Let them know your communication skills are the reason you're having a problem making money, baby, is because you don't know how to take orders. You talking while the person is talking. All right. Learn how to take some orders and then just get a person what they ask for. And then they'll gladly write you checks and tip you. Are you listening to me? I tip people real well, in restaurants and stuff like that, particularly when they get the order correctly and they bring it out to me in a timely fashion. I pay attention to all of that. All right. I'm gonna always give somebody a tip, but the ones that get the big tips are the ones who take the order correctly and then they bring it out in a timely fashion. The food is hot and juicy and ready to go. And I'm ready to what? I'm ready to pay. I'm ready to pay and I'm ready to tip. So, if you would treat the people better that you meet, you would make so much more money because you would be getting paid and tipped. And if you get paid and tipped, you would make a whole lot more money. You would need less clients because you would have more quality to clients because you are so in tune with the person and got this rhythm and this ebb and this flow going because you realize that selling is serving. First is signaling and then is serving. All right. So everybody put number 2, serving, and then let me go on to the next one. All right. I'm teaching you the 7 laws of selling today. All right. So everybody put number 2, serving. All right. Put serving in the chat. Put this in your notes. Okay. This is basically like you came to my inner circle and I'm teaching you a class that I'll be teaching like the people that's in the inner circle. I'm just going to bless you today. Okay. So just put serving number 2. All right, let's go. Y'all got it? Serving. All right, Jerome, you got that? Good. All right. All right. Zante, you got that? Great. Okay. All right. Serving. Let's go. Papa Bear, that's correct. Sherman. All right. Melody, watch what's going to happen here. Your bank account about to go up, Todd. Okay, let's go, Cheryl. Your money's about to go up. Okay, Melody. All right. You're about to make some sales. All right. Dominique, you're about to make some sales. All right. Lively Life, you're about to make some sales. Oh, yes, you are. And it's not going to be hard, Tiana. I'm telling you, it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be hard. D, you're about to make some sales. It's not going to be hard either. All right. It's about to go. All of your incomes are about to go up. Who are actually taking heed to what we're talking about right now. I hear what I'm saying? You say take Cindy the notes. Just watch the video. It's gonna be recorded. Okay, just watch the video. Okay, you say what kind of business do I do? I got 3,000 videos, Lively Life. Right now, I'm just teaching y'all how to sell. Okay, so I've got 3,000 videos, so it's real easy to find out what I do. All right, but real quickly, I teach people how to open up tax-free trust and get their money back from the bank. That's the major thing that I do. All right. Okay, so number 2. Take the person's order. And then you won't be selling things that people don't want because you're selling exactly what the person told you they wanted. You don't have to guess what people want. All you gotta do is I can just ask them what they want. All right. And then you can be like the OJs. Got to give the people what they want. Boom, 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 boom. Don't you know, you got to give the people, give it up. Give the people what they want. Hey, you know what you got to do. Give the people what? Give the people what? Give the people what? Give them what they what? Give them what they what? Give them what they want. Come on, y'all put it in the chat. I said, give the people what they what? What they want. And then they'll always pay because people always pay for what they want 100% of the time. All right. So that's number two. All right. Let's go to number three. Number three, you want to be selecting people to sell to. So selling is a selection process. You say, what do you mean by that? When you signal people and when you serve people, now you can select who it is that you would like to do business with. Take the NCAA, for example, the college, the thing that monitors college sports, the NCAA. They have what's called a selection committee. You say, what do you mean? That means that when when teams get ready to come to the tournament to play for the championship, they have to be selected to come into the tournament. The only way that you can select people is that you have already signaled people, you have already served people, and now you can select who it is that you want. In other words, there has to be a qualification process with everybody that you deal with. Okay. So you say, how do you do that? It's because you ask people questions. And when you ask people questions, they tell you all about them, everything it is that you need to know. And then you can do what? Select whether or not you want to do business with them. Let's go back to serving, for example. The reason that the person knew exactly what the person wanted is because they asked them a lot of questions. They asked them, what would you like to eat? Okay. And the person started telling them everything it was that they wanted. And so they were able to select what it was that they wanted, but they was also able to select if they wanted to do business with this person or not. In other words, they qualified the person by asking the person if what they wanted. And you can select who you want by qualifying the person by asking them what it is that they want. That's how selling goes. And then you can select who you want to do business with. And then you go to number four. Number four, you can separate the people who you don't want from the people who you do want. Why? Because you asked the question, and based on the answers to the questions, now you know if you want to do business with the person or not. Ain't y'all happy about that? All right. So number three is you can select who you want. And number four is you can separate who you don't want. But you can't separate without selection. In other words, qualify everybody for everything anybody that you do business with, qualify them to do business with you by asking them questions. And once you ask them questions, you can decide on those answers whether or not you even want to sell anything to this person because every relationship ain't even worth having. All right. So you select and then you separate. Okay, let me give it to you this way. Jesus was a major salesperson. All right, the best salesperson ever hit the face of the earth because he's the most famous person 2,000 years after he died. Excuse me. So, so Jesus was a great salesperson. Excuse me. He was the best salesperson in the history of time. How do we know? Because everybody around the whole world knows about Jesus Christ. So he was like, man, if I'm going to be well known around the world, particularly after I'm gone, he said, I'm going to have to be more selective of who it is that's around me. And I'm going to have to separate who I don't want around me because I really got too many people around me to really have a major impact. He said, so I'm going to have to do some more selective selling. So what he did, he said, listen, except you eat my flesh, except you eat the flesh of the Son of God and drink his blood, you have no part in me. Well, he knew what would happen. He knew most people would not ask him a question behind that type of statement. They would just leave automatically because he was selective. He was like, it's time for us to what? Expand and blow up. But we can't expand and blow up unless we get tighter and more knit together first. The people around me right now are not around me for the right reasons. They're around me because I help feed people. They're around me because I'm helping them to do miracles with folks, and they tripping. All right. They don't have the right motives and everything. So I know that because God knows the motives of everybody. He said, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to become very selective. So he said, the way I'm going to be selective is because I'm gonna put statements out that create the type of atmosphere where the people who really don't want to come around won't be around so that you can have quality clients. All right. So everybody puts QCO. This is how you sell QCO, quality clients only. All right. Everybody put that in QCO. All right. Not only If you listen to Brother Ricky now for the rest of this quarter, you can steamroll your way into 2026. If you just listen, if you just consider the things I'm teaching you today, you can steamroll your way into 2026 if you only have quality clients, if you have quality clients only. If you would create a selection committee and a way of separating who it is that you really don't want to be doing business with, you'll make a lot more money. Why? Because you are an emotional human being, and so am I. And what? And we don't have enough energy to be dealing with malcontents. And don't you think you need to sell them anything, because you don't. The reason that you have bad relationships with clients you really don't want to be bothered with is because you haven't been signaling enough, haven't been serving enough, and now you're not in a position where you can select who you want and separate who you don't want. All right. So if you go down this list and learn how to what signal first, serve second, then you will have the right to select who it is you want to do business with. And then you can separate who you don't want to do business with. And then people will get rid of themselves because they don't want to move up to the standard that you have, based on the fact that you are a salesperson, but you're a salesperson with high standards. We are all selling things. I mean, you're not making no money without selling nothing. So we all salespeople. There ain't no question about that. The question is are we a salesperson with standards? Are we a salesperson who will sell anything to anybody just to try to get some money because we're so desperate for some money? But if we was signaling first, serving second, then we would be separating, selecting third, and then we'd be separating people so that we can have a quality life. Everybody put QL in the chat. Okay, are you listening to me? Everybody put QL in the chat. Come on, it's time for a quality life, because we only get one, baby. Once it's gone, it's gone. Okay, everybody put QL in the chat, and I'm going to speak over your life. All right, I'm going to speak over your life. I'm going to agree with you. Hamar, I agree with you, a quality life. Papa, I agree with you, a quality life. TD, I agree with you, a quality life. Ted, I speak into your life, a quality life. Dash, a quality life. All right. Mario, a quality life. All right. Zanti, a quality life. I'm gonna have to put my glasses on, y'all. I can't see this little writing. Philip, a quality life. Nidra, a quality life. Sam, a quality life. Rodrigo, Rodriguez, a quality life. Kyan, a quality life. Capri, quality life. Karen, a quality life. Okay. All right. You say some. You say, Brother Ricky. Unique. You say, Unique LeMay. You say, Brother Ricky. I really want to have a quality life. Okay. Good. Okay, dear. Be selective of who you're doing business with. Dear, separate the people you don't want to do business with. Queen, make sure that you signal first, and then make sure that you serve. Then you'll have the privilege of being able to live the way that you ought to be living. And that goes for every last one of us. All right. Let's keep it moving. Now that we have signaled who we want to do business, signaled our intentions into the marketplace, and people are answering our intentions, and now that we are serving people at a high level, and now that we are selecting the people that we want to do business with and are separating the folks that we don't want to do business with, let's go to number 5. Now we're going to have to learn how to sacrifice. All right. See, most of our sacrifices, unfortunately, are for people that we really shouldn't even be involved with. And that's a problem. Why? Because there's nothing more debilitating than sacrificing for ungrateful people. There's nothing more debilitating than sacrificing for incompetent folk. There's nothing more debilitating than sacrificing for people who don't even appreciate the sacrifice. All right? Because life is meant to be a sacrificial life. All right. That's what makes you happy. That's what makes me happy. Is the idea that I'm doing this to make sure somebody else is better off. So I'm doing it willing. I'm a willing sacrifice. All right. So everybody put WS in the chat. We got to be a willing. It ain't nothing sacrificial unless it's willing. All right. So everybody put WS in the chat. Okay. This is what selling is. It's willingly sacrificing what? Sacrificing my time, my energy, my thoughts, my creativity, my innovations, my body, my soul. I'm putting 100% into it. All right. So it's going to require what? It's going to require, see, you all want to make some money before just in this last quarter. You're going to have to go strong. You're going to have to be seriously focused, and you're going to have to be a willing sacrifice. That means right now you don't need balance. Okay. Particularly if you're at the early stages of selling and you haven't really made a lot of money yet. If you're not making at least $1 million a year yet, then you're going to have to sacrifice the time that you would have been spending scrolling, the time that you would have been spending socializing, the time that you would have been spending watching TV, the time that you would have been spending doing a lot of leisure things that you will have more time to do later. if you're just right now, if you're a sacrifice. These are the laws of selling. And initially, when you first start selling, you got to be willing to sacrifice the time that you would have been doing other things with. Because if you do that, then you'll have way more time on the back end, because on the front end, it creates time on the back end if you'll be willing to sacrifice. You say, what do you mean, Brother Ricky? Okay, so when I first started doing webinars back in 2020, 2021, I first started doing webinars, and I was teaching people how to get tax-free trust, like what we do. I was having 3 classes a day. You say, why we having? I mean, I did 3 webinars a day. They were hour long, so I took 3 hours a day, and I did that for for months. Most of the time, only a handful of people would come because nobody knew what I was talking about. All right. But I was willing to sacrifice. Why? Because I was sending signals to people. And in order to send signals to people, you got to be willing to sacrifice. I was like, I have 3 hours a day, and nobody knows me in the marketplace. I got 3 hours a day to help develop trust with people. I have that. I have That's going to be required of me. So a lot of people were not in my class. Sometimes my daughter was laughing at me because I'm singing and hollering. And she said, Daddy, you crazy. Wasn't nobody in the classroom but me and you. I said, that's okay, baby. What? This is a sacrifice. All right. So this is a sacrifice we're going to make because we're sending out signals. And you said, who? You said, ain't nobody on the call. Who you sending a signal out to? I said, I'm sending a signal out to me. I'm sending a signal out to me, and that's that what? I'm gonna stay consistent no matter who shows up, because no matter who else show up, I'm gonna show up. Are y'all listening to me? I'm showing up. Everybody put I'm showing up in the chat. Hey Doc, how you doing, my friend? Keontae, how you doing? God bless you. All right. Everybody put in the chat, put I'm showing up. See, you can guarantee you show up. Whether anybody else show up or not, you can guarantee you showing up. Okay, put I'm showing up. Come on, speak over your life now. Put I'm showing up. Put it in the chat. I'm showing up. Okay. Go ahead. I'm showing up. All right. Speak over your life. All right, Zante, watch what you're about to make some money. All right. Perry, you're about to make some money. Okay. All right. Who else ready to make some money up in here? Shama Kid, you're about to make some money. All right. Karen, you showing up about to make some money. Capri, you're about to make some money. David, if you do what you're saying right here, you're gonna make some money. All right. Dominique, you're about to get paid. All right. Melody, you're about to get paid too. Dash, you're about to get paid. Erica, you're about to get paid. Are you listening to me? Lanita, you're about to get paid. So these are the 7 laws of selling. There are more. I'm just giving you 7 laws right now. All right. And one of them is what? Sacrifice. All right. Being willing to sacrifice and say, I got to get good. I got to get good. If I get good, everybody's going to pay me. I know people are going to pay me if I get good, but how I'm going to get good, and if I don't do this stuff over and over and over again. See, most of you all, the reason that it's hard for you to sell is because you expect, I told you something, I buy it. But most of the time, you're just not real good yet. You say, Ricky, no, that's cold to tell me I'm not real good. Well, I know if you haven't done something repetitiously, I know you're not very good at it yet, but that's okay. Why? Because you can get good at something. All you got to do is just keep doing it. All right. And the more you do it, the better you get. The more you do it, the better you get. The more you do it, the better you get. And then people start paying you. All right. And then you don't have to work hardly at all. And people start paying you because now you're very selective about who you're doing business with, and everybody's trying to call you, and everybody's trying to talk to you, and everybody's trying to do business with you on your terms. Why? Because in the beginning you showed up so much. Are you listening to me? People really respect you when you show up a lot. People really trust you when you show up a lot. And then all the laws of God kick in when you show a lot, when you show up a lot. You become amazingly competent when you show up a lot. And when you are amazingly competent, people are really what? Happy to have somebody competent in the marketplace that they can do some business with, because the person actually know what they're doing. And they appreciate that. You take stress off of people when you know what to do that they don't know how to do. You take nervousness off of people when you know how to do what they don't know how to do. You take what? Anxiety off of people when you know how to do what it is that they don't know how to do. And what? They just come on in to the restaurant because they don't want to cook the food and eat it. They just want to come in and be served and then pay you for cooking the food. That's what happens when you come into the marketplace on a regular basis. You are what? Feeding people what? You are chef boy ID and chef girl ID. Everybody get your chef on. All right. Everybody put in the chat. Come on, talk to your brothers and your sisters now. Stop talking about you. It's time for you to talk to everybody else. Get your chef on. All right. Come on, everybody put it in the chat. Get your chef on. Okay. Come on, encourage your brothers and your sisters, because a lot of us got some really good things we ought to be selling, but we're not getting our chef on. We're not cooking. All right. So people can't come in and eat. Why? Because we're nervous about coming online and telling people what we do. I want to encourage you today to get your chef on. All right. I know you're a good chef. I know you got something that you're cooking up over here, and I want to see it too. I want to eat too. All right. How in the world? Don't deprive us what of your meals. Are you listening to me? Get your chef on. Tell your brothers and your sisters to get their chef on. Encourage them and inspire them and let them know. Let's get into these online streets and let's get this money. You say, well, Brother Ricky, I really don't have a product yet. I really don't have anything to cook. Okay, well, that's okay. Go to rickthewealthcoach.com and sign up to be an ambassador with us. I got several products for sale. I got trust. I got books. Got all kind of things. Just go. I mean, if you like our movement and like what it is that we're doing, then get paid. All right. I give you 25% of any sale that anybody makes. You got a free website, and people can come to you and buy your stuff because you can come on my site and create your own website. All right. You ain't got to pay for nothing. I already paid for it. I already paid $30,000 a month to attract clients. I already have millions of people that watch our videos. You can just what? Piggyback. Everybody put piggyback in the chat. You can be a piggyback chef. Okay. All right. Anybody want to be a piggyback chef? Everybody put in the chat. Piggyback chef. You can be a piggyback chef. You just piggyback off somebody else until you do what? Until you get your own product that you want to sell. All right. Okay. But sell something and start selling something fast. Okay. Sell something and start selling something fast. You say, why is that? Because of another law. This is not inside of here, but it's the law of momentum. Momentum means just start selling something. It don't have to be something that you created. We are online now. You can just sell something as an affiliate for somebody else. You don't know who to be affiliate for? Well, I'm a good person to be affiliate for. Why? Because I'm online so much. And it's not hard for you to sell products that I sell. Because why? Because people know me all over the world because I've been doing what? I've been in the online streets for 6 consecutive years, every single week for 6 years in a row without fail. Why? Because I understand what signaling is all about, how important signaling is. I'm not teaching you things that I don't do. I'm just teaching you the way how we made millions of dollars and why you can do the same thing from out of nowhere. I'm just like you. I come from a penitentiary, $50 in a hotel room, hard to get a job, being embarrassed, turned down, played off, humiliated, and all that kind of foolishness. Out here in these streets, the way that they treat a brother, like you're the invisible man, but not on online. Online, you don't need no resume. Online, you don't need what? No background check. Online, you don't need what? People to be meddling in your business and all. You just need to be good. Are you listening to me? And if you're good, people are going to pay you. I don't care what it is that you're selling. If you're good, people are going to pay you. And what? You can't get good unless you make a willing sacrifice. And once you make this willing sacrifice, now people will start paying attention to you. All right? Are y'all getting encouraged today? Are you getting encouraged to do something? Are you going to start cooking something up? Can I start seeing your meals? I say, can I start seeing your meals? See, don't worry about what people think about you. Okay. You're a top-notch salesperson. You don't need nobody's approval to be no top-notch salesperson. Man, get paid. Sister, get paid. Brother, get paid. Get your money. Nobody can stop you from getting no money online. Nobody. Are you listening to me? Nobody who can sell like you. Nobody. Nobody, baby. All right. That's what if you get to selling something. All right. All right. Let's go. What we do? We'll number what? We'll number 6 now. Okay. So sacrificing. Okay. All right. Number 6. So number 1, signal. Number 2, well, let's go through them again. Serve. Number 3, select. Number 4, separate. Number 5, sacrifice. And number 6, step back. You say, what do you mean by step back, Brother Rick? When you're selling things, this is a problem for people. They want the person to buy something so bad until until you bug the person. I don't like being bugged. I don't like nobody like stopping me in the mall and like, hey, excuse me, man, can I like if I wanted to talk to you, I would just came over here and talked to you. I don't like, and most people don't like that. Most people don't appreciate that. Most people don't like being solicited. We don't like that. That's what prostitutes go to jail for solicitation. You say, well, Brother Ricky, well, how am I gonna get somebody's attention? And how am I gonna sell them something if I don't get their attention? I didn't say you weren't supposed to get a person's attention. If you've been listening, you understand the first law is signaling. That's what signaling is for, to get somebody's attention. But once you get people's attention, and once you selected who you want, and once you all are talking about whatever it is that you want to talk about, and once you get to the point of this actual sale, then the person is considering what it is that you're saying. You just let them know, okay, so Here's the amount of time you have to buy this if that's what you want to do. And then if that's what you want to do, great. Okay. And now enjoy the rest of your day. See, people are not used to that. Most people don't understand that. What do you mean? Step back, withdraw yourself, okay, from whether the person buys anything or not. These are the laws of selling. You say, why is that? Why is that so important? Because people are mesmerized when you, as a human being, are not thirsty. Are you listening to me? The worst problem in the world for salespeople is that they're thirsty. Okay? They're thirsty. They're always trying to get somebody to buy something. And if the person don't buy it, it's written all over your face. You don't have to say nothing. You ain't got to say a word. What? Everybody can tell you what? Ah, 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 thirsty. Are you listening to me? But you're not a thirsty individual. Why? You're a king. You're a queen. You said, I am a little thirsty over here, Brother Ricky. That's because you haven't been signaling. If you had been signaling, you would not be thirsty because there would be people who'd be signaling back to you, I am very interested in what you're selling and I want to buy some. How do I get it? All right. You would hear that on a regular daily basis if you would build up what? An audience who would pay attention to what it is that you're selling. So you don't sell products to people. You build up an audience and then you attach the products and people buy them. All right. Everybody put PT in attached, product PA in attached. It's called product attachment. You say product. What do you mean? Product attachment. Everybody put PA in the chat. Come on, PA. Come on. I got to get some tissue. Hold on a second. Everybody put PA in the chat. I'll be right back. Okay. PA. You don't have to say nothing. You don't have to say a word. No, people know. People know when you're thirsty. But I'm telling you, we kings and queens, we're not thirsty people. All right. The way that we behave is that we build up an audience and then we just attach products. So that means that what people are paying attention to you. Stop trying to get people to love your product. Just get people to love you. And once people love you, then they'll pay attention to your product. The reason that people wear Michael Jordan gym shoes is not because they got a gym shoe rack that says Jordan. It's because they love Jordan. Why? Because Jordan sent signals into the marketplace. Why? By winning championships. He sent signals into the marketplace. Why? By winning MVPs. He sent signals into the championship by why? Dunking on folks, and hanging on the rim and shooting the lights out and embarrassing them. I mean, he's just good. All right. So because he was good, here it is 20 some years later, and he ain't playing basketball, and people still buy more Jordans than they buy anything in the world. Are you hearing me? Why? Because of the signals that he sent out. All right. The way that he served people by playing so consistently in the marketplace. The last year he played last year that the Bulls won championships. Jordan played all 82 games. Whatever. He's a superstar. Didn't take no days off or none of that sort of thing. Why? Because but now he can sit back until the day that he dies. His kids can sit back to the day that they die. His grandkids can sit back to the day that they die. Why? Because now that they send out so many good signals, now that they got so much sales coming in, he gets a percentage of every shoe that's sold with Nike. What? I made $400 million, worth of money on a regular basis a year without even working. $400 million without even working. Don't even have to get up out the bed. Come on, those are good signals to send out. And that's what selling is all about. It's about signaling first and then not being desperate on the back end. And then you can step back. All right. Why? Because you don't have to force the person to buy anything. You just let them know that this is what's available to you. And then when they're expecting you to beg them to do something, you let them know you had enjoy the rest of your day and just change the subject and start talking about something else. Isn't that a better way? I said, isn't that a better way? I said, isn't that a better way to live? Everybody put BW in the chat. That's a better way. Hey, Bishop Derek, I saw your children graduating from Kenya. God bless you, brother. Congratulations for your graduation. Tell all the kids in Kenya, Brother Ricky said hi, and tell him I said congratulations. Okay? Tell him all I said congratulations. That's a beautiful thing. Everybody put congrats in the chat for a graduating class of the children in Kenya. They got it hard over there. They got it rough over there. And Brother Derek is doing a great job with these kids. All right. Everybody put congrats in the chat. Just stop talking about this selling for a second. Everybody just put congrats in the chat for the kids in Kenya. All right. Everybody put congrats. Congrats, Brother Derek. We're proud of you. Proud of you. That man been doing, he do some great work. Great work. Great, I mean, some super great work. I've been a friend of this man for about 5 or 6 years now, and he's been consistent. All right. I met him. Somebody introduced him to me on LinkedIn, I think. I think that's how I met Brother Derek. All right, everybody tell him congrats. Everybody's congratulating you from all over the world, Brother Bishop Derek. Thank you for what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Tell them beautiful kids we said hello. All right, kind of choking me up a little bit. Let me get back to the point. All right, so step back and withdraw if you want to make a lot of money. Okay, do not be overbearing with people. People don't like it. All right. Don't be worried about you're going to lose a sale. That's not going to happen. All right. What's going to happen is that you're going to be able to get more quality sales because the people can clearly see that you have made it available to them what it is that they actually want. See, they want it already anyway. That's why they're talking to you. Okay. Why? Because of the way that you did everything. You set up everything correctly. Okay. So now they want it and they want to buy it more than you want to sell it. All right. And the only way they can buy something from you is that they have to want to buy it more than you can sell it. Why? Because you're going to step back after you do the presentation. All right. Everybody get this book. It's called Pitch Anything. I'm going to put it in the chat here. Pitch Anything. It's by Oren Klaff. Pitch Anything. Okay. Everybody get this book. Pitch Anything. It's by Oren Klaff. OrenKlaff. Oren Klaff. Okay. All right. Everybody get that book. Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff. All right. Everybody get that book. All right. Put it in the chat to make sure y'all got it. Pitch Anything. All right. Come on, put it in the chat so I can make sure you got it. I only got one more point to teach you. All right. We did 6, so I'm on number 7. Okay. Pitch Anything by Oren. Come on, catch up, you all. Pitch Anything. Put it in the chat so I can make sure you get it. All right. That's right, Zante. Pitch Anything. All right. Come on. It's called Pitch Anything. All right. That's right, Jerome. That's correct. Papa, that's correct. All right, come on. At least 10 of you all put it in the chat so I can teach y'all this last point. Look, I'm a teacher, you all, so I'm not just talking. I want y'all to, I'm showing you how to make money. Okay. You said, Brother Ricky, I ain't in none of your classes. I ain't paid for nothing. I don't care. I just want you to make some money. This is what I'm teaching you how to sell, because one of the reasons I sell so much is because I help so many people who I never even seen. All right. And they never charge them no money for nothing. Why? And a lot of people have made a lot of money off Brother Ricky. I ain't gonna never even meet him. And it don't bother me at all. Why? Because that's part of being in the marketplace. Part of being in the marketplace is helping people to do something at no charge, like what we're doing right now. That's why I charge $50,000 for an appointment. Why? So people will leave me alone. So I can do what? Have a quality life. And if you want to learn things from Brother Ricky, go through the protocol. Come to class, come to a challenge, do the things that we do. All right. Why? Because I don't need your money. But why do I not need anybody's money? It's because I've been pitching so long and I pitch so consistently. All right. And if you pitch consistently, signal consistently, people pursue you. All of my clients pursue me. I don't pursue any of my clients. None of them. Are you listening to me? Nobody. I don't pursue not one single customer do I pursue. You have to go through through the protocol to do business with us. And then I only have appointments with people who go through the protocol. And you cannot have an appointment with Brother Ricky on GP because I don't know you. Why? Because I'm not thirsty to meet anybody. Why? Because I spend my time pitching and signaling. And then people pick up the signals and they say, how can I get in touch with you? And then I let them know what they need to do. All right. So in this book, Pitch Anything, Oren Klaff, and I learned all of this selling, all of these laws and stuff, because I read and study billionaires. And I study people who do millions or billions in sales. Listen, study people who do millions and billions in sales. I wouldn't spend any time scrolling on this phone about money, dealing with broke people. I'm like, what do the millionaires do? How do they make money? All right. And I would just spend my time studying them. You can get rich just reading books and then actually doing the book. You can get rich off of Pitch Anything. I mean, if you don't never take a class and you can just get rich off that book. Made me millions of dollars. Are you hearing me? This dude is a genius. Oren Klaff is his name. And I mean, he's an absolute genius. He talks about framing and human psychology and why people do the things that they do. And then he shows stories in the book about how his own deals. All right, practical stories in the book about his own deals. His name is Oren Clapp, and so at the end of the book, he does $1 billion deal. Excuse me. He does a billion dollar deal. All right. All right. You say he did $1 billion deal? Yes. He does $1 billion deal and what? And does the deal. You say, so, you know, how did it end up? What happened at the very end? Well, the deal was about this. I almost don't want to tell you in case you're gonna read the book, but what the heck? Okay. So the deal is about this airport that's being built, and it's $1 billion project. So his colleagues want to come in and be responsible for the building of this airport, and then he has some people who also are competing against him. So he has two more companies that's competing. When the two companies get through with their presentation, they say, so they talk to the guy who's in charge of everything, and they say, so we will be eagerly awaiting you to call us back, sir. We are so looking forward to talking to you again. Well, Orem was like, wow, they really messed up that presentation. Why? Because when you get to the end of your presentation selling, you don't tell people things like that. So, are you going to buy something from me? So, are we in? So, it's a win-win situation now. So, isn't this the greatest thing since sliced bread? So, do we have a deal right here? Why? Because all of that stuff is nothing but what? Baby, I'm begging, begging, baby. No, you ain't Jodeci, all right? Unless you get paid for making begging songs, all right? I'm down on bending knees. Can we go back to the days our love was strong? Can you tell me? You ain't boys to men, all right? so, 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 so when you get to the end of your presentation, would you please get off your bended knee? I'm down on bended knee. No, no. Boys and men get paid for that. All right. They get paid to sing begging songs. Keith Sweat, he get paid to sing begging songs. All right. You don't get paid for that. You don't get paid to beg. All right. You be too proud to beg. All right. I know the temptations. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. If I got to beg and plead for sympathy, I don't mind, cause you mean that much to me. Ain't too proud to cut that cut off, all right? You are too proud to beg. Don't be begging nobody for no sale. You get all the way to the end of the sale. You did a really good job. And the person is considering what you're talking about. And now it's up to what? It's up to them. It's not up to you. Have you ever seen a waiter or waitress take a person's order, bring the food out, and then start eating the person's food? Of course not. The person has to do what? Eat their own food. Are you listening to me? Put it in the chat. Let them eat. Okay. When you serve a person, let them eat. Okay. Let them sit there and eat the food, and then let them contemplate if they want some dessert. Okay. Go ahead. Put it in the chat. Let them eat. Come on. I got to train you. I got to teach you all because y'all. I want y'all to make a lot of money in this last quarter, but you're not gonna make it being thirsty. You got to let them eat. Serve the person a meal and then back up. All right. The person don't serve you the food and then sit down at your table with you. Are you listening to me? And leaning all over your plate while you eating. You know that would give you the creeps. That would give you the cooties, right? What would you do? You would get up out that restaurant and run. You know you would. Why? Because nobody want to be. You're like, back up off me. All right. I gave you my order. Okay. You took the order. I'm happy. All right, I'm over here eating. I'm talking to my wife. Okay. You're talking to your husband. You're kicking it with the kids. You don't expect the waiter or the waitress to come sit at the table with you. I hear what I'm talking about? Sweating you like Keith. Go serve somebody else. What? That's why you respect people at a restaurant. Because they do what? They serve you, take care of you. Then they go to the next person and say and serve them. And you respect that whole process. Don't we all respect that whole process? We'll have the same attitude when you selling things to people. Sell something to them and then let them eat. Let them decide what they want to do. So in his book, Pitch Anything, He ends up getting a $1 billion deal because when he finished talking to the person, he says, okay, um, he explained what he's talking about. He said, if you're interested, you have our phone number. And then he walked in and he closed it and he closed his briefcase up, took his slides down, and he went back to, where he was. Now listen, of course that makes you nervous. I'm not saying you're not gonna feel nervous when you're selling things to people. I'm not saying that how you not that you're not feeling like begging. I'm not saying that you're not feeling nervous, that you're not feeling like over talking and all that. I'm not saying that you're not feeling that way. What I'm telling you is that you're not gonna get paid if you don't go the opposite from that feeling. Okay. I'm not telling you that you don't feel like that. Of course you feel like that. You're a human being. And your blood pressure go up a little bit, your heart rate races a little bit because you're thinking it's the possibility that you might be getting a sale. But that'll stop happening a whole lot more if you practice what I'm telling you right now. Step back. If you start stepping back, your blood pressure go down, your calmness will come up. You'll be cool. You'll be like me. I walk around the whole world with a pimp hat on. I mean, how many people gonna buy something from somebody walking around the world with a pimp hat on? But I don't care. I don't. If a person want to judge me based on the fact that I like to wear nice clothes and a hat, then I don't want their money. I don't even want to be bothered with nobody like that. I'm selective with who I do business with. Are you hearing me? Why? Because I'm gonna be me. I'm not gonna allow you to change who I am. All right? Don't allow anybody to change who you are. Be the person that you are. Just make sure you're polite, kind, gentle, sweet, got good sense, good business practices and all of that. But you are who you are. And don't you start trying to be somebody else but to sell something because it's not real. It's not, and people can see straight through it. And the people that buy something from you are the people who appreciate you being who you are. And the people who won't buy something from you are the people who kicks rock with their socks. Who cares? You can't care about people out here selling what people think about you. I don't care what you think about me. All right. I just care about you as an individual. I don't care if you buy nothing from me. Why? I just care about you as an individual. And I'm teaching you the 7 laws of selling so that you can embrace the same type of attitude so that you can make millions of dollars like Brother Ricky do. I'm just not whistling Dixie. I ain't just fall off the side of the road someplace a few minutes ago. I've been selling stuff since I was 3 years old. Are you hearing me? But I learned how to sell at a much higher level because I started studying these millionaires and how these billionaires sell. And I started comparing it with the Bible. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Jesus, when he didn't want to be bothered with no folks, he withdrew. He didn't beg them to come do nothing. He looked at his boys after he stepped back and told all, and when he got rid of all those people, and then he looked at his boys and say, y'all can leave too if you want to. Anybody, y'all want to go? And his boys was like, oh no, we don't want no smoke. We want to kick it with you. Peter said, you got the words to eternal life. So Jesus was the best salesman ever walked the face of the earth. And the way that Jesus sold was that he stepped back. So when I was reading Oren Clapp's book and he was talking about withdrawal after a sale, I said that line up with Jesus. That make a whole lot of sense. So that's why I make so much money. I make so much money because I read the Bible first, and then I read these books and I study these cats. And if they stuff adds up and lines up with like a Bible principle, I do it. And you have to make money. It's impossible. You have to make money. Look, let's sell some stuff for the rest of this year. Okay. Let's get down. Let's make a lot of money for the rest of this year. If you all want to have some trust and operate like us, you need some money. Okay. And if you're going to have some money, you ain't going to make it on your job. You're going to have to sell something. Okay. And in order for you to sell something, you need to know the laws. So I would take this video and I would rewind it with some pen and some paper, and I would study it as a studying guide on how to sell. And then if you got some people trying to sell with you, I would have them sit down and let them know, hey, you want to make some money with me? You need to learn what you're doing because you're thirsty the way you're talking to them customers and stuff. You're running all our customers away. The way you're talking to them customers and stuff, you ain't taking orders. If they can understand the order, not only can you sell and make a lot of money, but if you teach the people around you how to do it, then y'all make 10 times the amount of money because y'all have a whole sales force. Are you listening to me? Okay, I got one more thing to teach you. One more thing. All right. So let's go over everything one more time. Number 1, signal. Number 2, serve. Number 3, select. Number 4, separate. Number 5, sacrifice. Number 6, step back. And then finally, number 7, silence. Okay. You said, Ricky, you said, how in the world can you sell being silent? First of all, let's all just write it down. Silent sales. Okay. Silent sales. All right. You say, what do you mean? How do you sell something silently? All right, come on, let's go. This is the last one, silent sales. Let's go. Everybody put in the chat real quick. Silent sales. And I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Just put in the chat real quick. Silent sales. Okay, silent sales. All right, all right. Let's put down. Everybody put down A. Okay, A. Listen. Okay, all right. Just put. I'm going to show you two ways to make a lot of money selling. A. Just listen. Okay. All right. Listen. A because it's A and B. All right. So put A. Listen. Okay. This is how you make a lot of money silently selling. Okay. So you mean, what do you mean? Okay, we say, what do you mean by A? I'm going to show you A and B. All right. A, a lot of your selling, the majority of your selling is you not talking at all. The majority of your selling. If you're a good sale, if you're a top-notch salesperson, if you are making a lot of money and you're a salesperson, you are not talking a lot. Okay. People that I teach how to sell on my team that sell things with us, they say, well, what's my script? I say, we don't have scripts. They say, why don't we have a script, coach? I said, because we spend our time listening to people. They say, why do you say that? I said, because the most important thing in a sales presentation is the person giving the presentation, not you. They say, excuse me? I said, the reason that you're not selling nothing is because you making a sales presentation instead of the person that you selling something to. They ought to be making their own presentation. You say, how can they make their own presentation, Brother Rick? Because you just ask a question and be quiet. And then the person tells you all about them. And you are just silently what? Selling the person because you ain't even talking. Do you understand? It is so hard to get another person, a human being, to get another human being to listen to them. Do you understand? Especially in this era where people's attention span is about 3.6 seconds. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Do you know how aloof the average person is? Do you understand the really bad listening skills the average person has? The average person does not know how to listen to another human being. They don't even have an interest in what the person is talking about. Are you listening to me? How many times have you been trying to tell somebody your heart, pour your heart out, and within 3 seconds, they jump into the conversation and start telling you all their problems? Come on. You know how that is. You just sat down with a person and you said, listen, baby, I'm having a hard time in this relationship. Girl, you having a hard time in that relationship? Don't make no doggone sense. I'm having a hard time in this relationship. Bernard came over here yesterday. Bernard. He came over here yesterday. I told that Negro one more time, one more again, one more again. Y'all dig what I'm saying? That person cut you off. You was just trying to tell them something. They couldn't listen to you for 3 seconds. Jumped in and started telling you about Bernard. Take over the conversation and talk for the next 15, 20 minutes. And you couldn't ask them but one word. I was in Atlanta with a good friend of mine, and she's a really nice lady, Tina. And Tina is such a nice person, got such a sparkling personality. So we went to this restaurant, and the restaurant had a long line that took about, I don't know, 2 hours to get in. I really like going to Atlanta because Atlanta has a lot of black owned businesses. And I just think it's good for a black person to visit Atlanta because they have a lot of black owned businesses. They have some multimillionaires in Atlanta. And it's just good for black people to see that we are rich. We're not all broke. All right. We're not all broke. Some of us are making a lot of money. I'm talking about some of us got a lot of money, got millions of dollars. And so when we got to this restaurant, Tina was had so much juice until we was able to walk right in. So, because she's such a pleasant person, and she told us that she said, "Ricky, we're gonna be able to get in here real fast." And we brought an entourage of people. So we were sitting down, we were talking, and the conversation was extremely pleasant. So this young lady came in. I don't even remember her name right now. Because why? Because she talked too much. So because she talked too much, I don't remember who she is because she made herself so unimportant. So she was doing something in business, and she was so she just went in and just started talking. Wouldn't let another person hardly get a word in, talking about a company like we were in. All of us, we already millionaires and stuff. But even if we wasn't, so what? Because it's just dinner. You're not having dinner to sit down and talk about all your accomplishments. Are you listening to me? You're having dinner to sit down and just meet people and say hello. All right. But particularly because of the fact that the little chump change she was making wasn't impressing nobody with, because we make that money in our sleep. But she was steady running off at the gyms and stuff. So it was a very, we just had to cut her off because enough was, I mean, she talked for about 30 straight minutes. And because we so used to, so used to listening to people and practice what we preach, we listened to her. for about 30 straight minutes. But then I was like, this is too much. All right. Plus, she was much younger than us, and she should have been learning from our elders while she was sitting there. Don't never sit, you young people, don't sit at no table with somebody twice your age and talk twice as much as they do. You only been here half the time. Are you listening to me? So when you get the privilege of being able to sit down and listen to somebody that's older than you, don't hardly have nothing to say because they know this thing. You're not teaching them much. Are you listening to me? And your job at this point is to be learning as much as you possibly can. My ex-wife, who's still a very good friend of mine, uh, her grandmother is one of the most intelligent people I ever met in my life. And I would just sit there and listen to her grandmother talk. She was about 101 when she passed away. She looked like she dropped out of heaven. Are you listening to me? And I would sit there mesmerized, listen to this woman's wisdom. Just whatever poured out of her mouth, it seemed like it was just honeydew. And I was so privileged to sit there and listen to her. All I would do when she say something was ask her another question. And then what? Get some more wisdom and shut up. And then what? Ask another question. And then get some more wisdom and do what? And shut up. Listen to me, you all. If you learn how to sell silently, you'll make a lot of money. Why? Because most people don't know how to listen to nobody for more than a few seconds. If you listen to people, they will be so endeared to you. Why? Because they just feel understood. Are you listening to me? The most important thing in a sales presentation is for a human being to feel understood. Why are you talking? Are you listening to me, brother? Are you listening to me, sister? Why are you talking? All you're doing is talking yourself out of your money. You think you're talking your way into a sale. You just talked your way out of a sale. Why? Because you have not been trained professionally how to sell. I know you haven't, else you wouldn't be talking so much. I've never seen such a generation of people who talk so much. I'm like, listen, I've I've met so many people. All they did was told me their testimonies about life. I just listened to them. By the time we got through, they said, "Okay, brother Ricky, what do you want me to do with my money?" That was it. They did the whole presentation, and I just listened to them. And I wasn't listening to them as a ploy. I was listening to them because I know how to listen to a human being because I love people. See, it's hard to be a good salesperson if you're a thirsty person who really don't care nothing about nobody. You just fake listening so you can hurry up and get something a shot in so as you try to sell the product. I'm telling y'all that is not how life goes. The way that life goes is that you listen about 90% of the time, talk about 10% of the time. And then when you speak, your words have an amazing amount of weight because the person is so willing to hear what you got to say because you were so willing to hear what they got to say. Everybody put WL in the chat. You got to be a willing listener. Okay. Everybody put WL in the chat. Did y'all get that? WL. WL. Willing listener. Come on, everybody put it in the chat. WL. Willing listener. You about to make so much money for this next quarter if you can just take these 7 principles and put them to work. I highly recommend that you rewatch this video. If you're on TikTok and you can't rewatch this video, I highly recommend that you go to my YouTube channel at Rick the Wealth Coach and rewatch this video. I'm going to leave this video up. All right. And I want you all to study it. Okay. The Bible says, study to show yourself approved. Don't scroll. Listen, let's sell something. Let's make some money for this last quarter. Okay. Take the time to actually take this video and break it down and be like, man, that make a lot of sense. Okay. I can see why that brother makes so much money. You know what? And tell your sales team, look, we're not doing this stuff right. We are not doing this stuff right. We are not signaling enough. We're not even out here online. People don't even know who we are. All right. We're not even live enough. We don't expect people to do business with you and they don't know who you are. Don't expect people to do business with you and you ain't doing no serving. Don't expect people to be able to separate nobody. Don't expect to be able to select nobody. Don't expect to be able to step back from a presentation. Why? Because don't nobody know who you are because you're not putting yourself out. But even after people find out who you are, even after people start wanting to buy what it is that you have, even after you get in the middle of these presentations, once you get in the middle of these presentations, do not do most of the talking. Just listen and watch what happens to your life. Your whole life will change. Your pocketbook will get so fat. You'll make so much money and it'll be so effortless compared to the way you've been doing it because you have not been taught to listen. You've been taught to talk. Are you hearing me? You say, Brother Ricky, ain't nobody taught me to talk. Oh, yes, they have. Just by observation, you've been taught to talk because most of the people around you talk way too much when the Bible says, be swift to hear and be slow to speak and be slow to wrath, because the wrath of man, it don't work the righteousness of God. Don't be mean to yourself. All right. Everybody put SM in the chat. Don't be self-mean. When you talking more than people talking, you mean to yourself. Why? Because you mean to your own pocketbook. Don't be so mean. Don't treat yourself so bad. Hey, listen to me. Come on. Everybody put SM in the chat. I'm not going to be self-mean. What the world is mean enough. Hey, listen to what I'm talking about? Life is mean enough. Life got enough stuff I can't even anticipate going to happen. Why in the world would you get up and volunteer to be mean to yourself? All right. Come on. I ain't teaching y'all this last point. That was A. I'm going to teach you B right now. Okay. But when 10 of y'all stop being so mean to yourself, I'll teach you. All right, Philip? All right. I speak what? Niceness into your life. You're gonna make some money, Phil. All right, Rachel, I speak niceness into your life. You about to make some money. Miami the most, I speak niceness into your life. You about to make some money. George, I speak niceness into your life. You're about to make some money. Where you at? Plague Ruben, I speak niceness into your life. You're about to make some money. Zante, I speak niceness. Why? Because you know you're gonna have a nice day when you're nice to you. Are you hearing me? The nicest thing you can do for yourself is stop talking so much. That's the nicest thing you can do. You will draw so many people to you. Jesus said, and if I be lifted up from the earth, I'll draw men unto me. So the way that you draw people to you is you don't talk much. Are you listening to me? I gave you one story about selling, just listening and how much money it made me. And then I teach you point B, okay? I was selling some real estate and we sold a house. We bought it for $22,500. We sold it for $48,000 in 2 days. So we made $26,000 in 2 days. Me and one of my students did. We split the money. A young man named Wes. So I said, Wes, I'm going in a neighborhood. I'm gonna say hello to the gentleman, George, that we sold this, that we bought his house from. And I'm gonna ask George if he knows anybody else in this neighborhood who would like to buy a house, who wants to sell their house to, because I want to buy their house so I can sell it. So I went and I met George. And if you have never seen the video, The Coach and the Queen, a video series that Shantae and I have that's on YouTube called The Coach and the Queen, I believe it's episode 2 or 3. Just look up The Coach and the Queen at Rick the Wealth Coach and just go and watch our video. And you can meet how I went to George's house and followed up on him. And the title of the video is the fortune is in the follow up. So I went to George's house and I asked him. I said, George, I give you $500 if you can tell if you find any other addresses around here. And if I buy their house, I give you $500. So he did. He found some addresses and he gave me this lady's name. So I called her and I said, hello. I said, Jackie, my name is Ricky, and I'm calling you because I see that you have a house and it looks like it's abandoned, and I'd like to know if you'd like to sell it. She said, Ricky, that house is abandoned. She said, and no, I don't want to sell it. She said, and my husband passed away recently, and I really want to refix that house back up. It's been in a family. And so she went on and she started talking. So I'm just listening. All right. Just listening. I'm not trying to impose my will. I'm not even talking back. I'm just, yes, ma'am. Is that so? Yes, ma'am. Is that so? Yes, ma'am. Is that so? She said, and Ricky, let me tell you something. She said, God blessed me so much that he brought me from the penitentiary to being a pastor of a church. I said, oh, is that so? I said, that's amazing. I said, what church do you pastor? She said, I pastor the First Church of God in Gary, Indiana. I said, you do? I said, that's amazing. I started laughing. She said, what's so funny, Ricky? I said, you want to hear something really funny? She said, what's that? I said, Jackie, I've been to your church several times. I said, this is Brother Ricky Williams you're talking to. I said, I done sang at your church I don't know how many times. Girl, we both started laughing. She said, Brother Rick? I'm like, yeah. She said, oh my God, how you doing? I said, I'm doing great, dear. And then she said, listen, for 15 years, I've been battling cancer, Brother Ricky. I said, you have? She said, yeah. She said, but God, he's so good until they practice in medicine. She said, but I know the man who is the medicine. I said, you better testify, woman. All right. So now we having a great time. We ain't even talking about no house no more. Why? Because when you call somebody to sell something, because you're buying it to sell, whatever the case may be, once the conversation shifts from what y'all was talking about, leave that stuff alone. Why? Because you're not thirsty. All right. we weren't even talking about no house no more. So we had a great time. Ended up praying for each other, singing, doing all kind of stuff on the phone because I know Jackie as a person, but I never had a conversation with her like that. I didn't know what she was going through, and I was amazed at the fact that a woman that's going through chemotherapy for 15 years can be so bubbly and have such a great attitude and be so full of life. I'm just totally asinine, and I'm enjoying the conversation, and so is she. So we hung up and said goodbye. So about 2 months later, Jackie called me back. I said, "Hey, Jackie, how you doing? I'm ready to have church again." She said, "Ricky, I called you because I want you to come and get this house." I said, "What house?" She said, "My house, the one you called me about." I said, "You said you don't want to sell it." She said, "I changed my mind." I said, "You do?" She said, "I don't want to sell it. I want to give it to you." I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Ricky, I'm about to lose this house." She said, "The taxes on this house, I can't even pay them. I want to fix it back up, but I can't." She said, "Ricky, the house got two different liens against it. It's got it's got two mortgages against it." She said, "I got so much favor until the mortgage companies gave me the keys and walked away from two different mortgages." She said, "It's all on the title, Ricky." She said, "But you can get that title quieted because you got favor on your life." I'm like, I ain't hardly said nothing to Jackie. Mostly all I did to Jackie was just listen to what she said. Mostly. I had very little to say. Why is she telling me I got so much favor on my life? Why? It's because when you listen to people, they what? They start, they pay attention to you. When you listen to people, they start speaking into your life. When you listen to folks, they have a totally different attitude towards everybody else who's approached them because most of the people have not listened to them. Most of the people have only just made pitches, just only what? Solicited them. They ain't got no heart. Are you listening to me? Why? Because they don't really care about the person. All they care about is what? Trying to make a sale. So I wasn't calling Jackie back no more. She told me she didn't want to sell her house. I was like, okay, that's cool with me. Why? I stepped back. And because I stepped back, she called me. All right. So we started talking. She said, "Come and get this house." I said, "Jackie," she said, "Boy, I got the keys. Would you come and get this house?" I said, "Okay, if you insist." So I came to her house and she just gave me the papers and she just signed, quit claim the property over to me. And I said, "Okay, cool." I got back to the crib and I lost the papers. I don't know what I did with them. Because of why? Because I'm so busy and got so many sales and so many people to talk to until I misplaced them because I'm absent-minded. So I don't even know what I did with the papers. So I called her back. I was kind of embarrassed. I said, "Hey, Jackie," I said, "Listen," I said, "don't laugh at me." I said, "But I don't know what I did with them papers you gave me." She said, "Don't worry about that, Brother Ricky. I got some more." I said, "You do?" She said, "Come on by the crib and re-sign them again." She said, "And this time, take me to lunch, okay?" I said, "Sure, Jackie, we can do that." She said, "And we're going to the bank and we're going to notarize this quick claim deed that I'm giving to you to make sure that you got everything done properly right while you're here." I said, "Okay, Jackie, that's cool." So I came back to her house again. We went out to eat. We went to the bank. Then I went over to the county and I got the taxes paid that somebody was getting ready to pay because they were just going to take the house. I paid the taxes off, and now the house belonged to me. So I sold the house and made over $100,000. Why? Because I was listening to Jackie. Jackie passed away from cancer after that, but before she passed away, she brought me in her house, brought my wife Shantae in her house, brought my daughter Shantice in her house, put us in a circle, and blessed us. She said, "You, Ricky, are going to be known all over the world." I said, "Jackie, I've been live on social media for years." She said, "No, I'm not talking. It's not just what you're currently doing." She said, "You about to be known clear across the world." She said, "Shantae, you're about to get a big windfall of money." Exactly what she said happened. Shantae is the first person to get a $1.4 million check from our system of doing trust the way we do it. And I'm known all over the world. Exactly like she said. She put my daughter in the circle and prayed for my daughter who suffers and deals with lupus. And that prayer then helped to heal Shantice up. Are you hearing me? All of that from what? Listening to a person. Are y'all hearing me? Silent selling. Not trying to be overbearing, not trying to out-talk somebody. Just listen to what the person had to say. Just patience. Patience will make you a lot of money. Are you listening to me? Silent selling. So that's A. Everybody got that? Silent selling. That's A. Now let me finish this and bring this boat on in the home. The second part of silent selling is when you are not talking at all You allow somebody else to speak for you, and you make a lot of money because they are speaking for you. All right. So B is leverage silent selling. LLSS. Everybody put LSS in the chat. And I'm gonna teach you this last point. Then I'm gonna take Shantae out to get something to eat. Okay. LSS. All right. LSS. Come on, hurry up. At least 10 of you all. This is the last point I'm gonna teach you. LSS. Okay. Leverage silent selling. You say, what do you mean by that, Ricky? When you allow somebody else to sell for you, you don't have to say nothing. You say, what do you mean by that? You just let them sell for you. Okay, let me give you a point. I had another young man who I was teaching real estate. Excuse me. I had another young man I was teaching real estate. He said, Brother Ricky, he said, I understand that I want to take, you say, I don't have money right now to pay for your real estate class. I used to have one-on-one classes. All right. So he said, I don't have the money right now to pay for your classes, but I really want to learn from you. I said, okay. He said, I'm on my way to Columbus to work on this new song I'm writing. So I was writing my song. That's the title of my new album that's coming out. I won't get it done by the end of this year because I'm too busy selling, because we're real busy selling trust. Very busy selling trust for the rest of this year. And this last thing I'm going to show you is you can make some money with us selling trust for this last 2 months of the year, because people really want their write-offs and everything for the last 2 months of this year. And because I send so many signals out during from all the way from the beginning to the end of the year, we make a lot of money the last 2 months of the year and the first 2 months of the year. And you can make some of this money too, because I can show you how to refer people and be a silent salesperson. Um, but I'm sitting at the crib, and he says, Brother Ricky, man, I want to learn from you. I said, man, I'm gonna go to Columbus because I'm doing my song. Who is the King of Glory? Call him Jesus, yeah. Who is the King of Glory? So that's the name of my album that's coming out next year. Who is the King of Glory? So I said, I'm on my way to Columbus, man, to lay this track down. He said, can I drive you? I said, man, I said, that's a little bit inconvenient from Indiana to Columbus. He said, if I drive you, can you just train me while I drive you? I said, man, that'd be great. I appreciate that. I said, you be willing to do that? He said, of course I would. He said, that way I can just drive you and you can give me 2 hours worth of training there and 2 hours worth of training back. I said, great, you got a deal. So when we was getting ready to pull off, this lady who does real estate wholesaling, she called my phone and said, Ricky, I got a lady that want to sell our house. And I said, yeah, I'm about to go to Columbus though, and we about to leave. She said, no, don't do that. She said, this lady's trying to sell a house now. She said, no, don't do that. She said, why don't you come over here? So I asked the guy, I said, hey, is it okay with you if we go and look at this house before we leave? He said, man, that's the best training I can possibly get. I said, you may not. I said, that make a lot of sense. Let's go. So by the time we got to the house, the woman who was talking to her, the wholesaler, she had talked the lady down off her price. The lady tried to get $60,000 to sell a house, but nobody wanted to buy it because it was in the hood. It was before the gentrification took place in Indianapolis here, where people are buying all these cribs in the hood. Now, it was before the gentrification took place. So she had an amazing estate. It was a brick house that had upstairs and a downstairs, had been remodeled, but she got the house because her mother passed and she didn't want it. She's just a chick from the hood. Yeah, I can say that because I'm from the hood. Yeah, when I finish telling you the story, you know why I said that. So she's just a chick from the hood. So because she didn't want the house, and she would sell it almost at any price. And the lady had talked to her about, it's crazy. You got 2 furnaces in this crib. Don't nobody want to buy this crib and pay for no 2 furnaces, because she from the hood and she always thinking about trying to save some money. That made a whole lot of sense to her. In other words, the wholesaler had already done all the talking. So when I got there, the lady said, the crib is cold blooded. It's got a walk-in garage. It's all brick. Man, please. You put that crib in a decent neighborhood, it's $800,000 in $1 million in a decent neighborhood. In the hood over there, she couldn't even get $60,000 for a crib because people didn't have enough foresight to know, buy these cribs right now before gentrification takes place, and you'll be able to sell this joint for $500,000. Nobody had that kind of vision at the time. So she didn't have a vision. Nobody had vision at that time. So the lady had did so much talking. The wholesaler had done so much talking until when I got there, It was no point for me to be talking. It was nothing I could possibly say that was going to get the price any better than it already was, but I could talk my way into messing the whole deal up. Why? Because people got too much pride. They don't know how to be quiet. They don't know how to do what? Allow leverage, silent selling. The lady had already did all the talking. So what did I do? I said, ma'am, I said, based on everything she said, I can offer you 15,000. She said, I'll take it. I said, "Oh, all right." So she sold me the crib, and then it went down to 10,000 because I gave her better terms to be able to do it faster. I bought the house for $10,000. I sold it in 2 days for $45,000. I gave the young lady $5,000 for telling me about it and made $30,000 in 2 days. What? Without even talking. Did y'all get that? Leverage, silent selling. Don't talk unless it's necessary to talk. Let it, let somebody else do all the hard work, do all the heavy lifting, all the heavy lifting. So with that thought in mind, I'm very busy these last 2 months of the year. If you want to make some money with Brother Ricky, here's a good opportunity for you. Go to myfinancialiqchallenge.com. All right. Or just put challenge in the chat. Go to the bottom of the page and sign up to be an affiliate. Everybody that comes into the challenge because of you, I'll give you half the money for them coming in. You say, Brother Ricky, how am I going to come to your challenge? Just send them reels of what it is that we do. All right. And then send them your link for them to come to the challenge. And what? Do some silent selling, leverage silent selling. You say, what does that mean? That means that you ain't did no work. All you did was just introduce the person. Once that lady introduced me and I came over, she didn't have to do no more work. She made $5,000 by leveraging me. I made $30,000 by leveraging her. Why? Because I was the one with the communication skills. And you find a person that has communication skills and you leverage them, and then you start learning from them how to get your own communication skills, but make money in the meantime by leveraging their communication skills. Are you listening to me? So I don't know nobody better to suggest to you to leverage than me, since I'm the one that's teaching you. So what? You can leverage me. You can leverage whoever you want to, but I'm just letting you what? Letting you know that that's why I'm out here in these streets to help you make some money. All right. I'm gonna make my money anyway. The people coming to the challenge anyway. They buying trust anyway. Why? Because we the only game in town. Nobody does what we do the way we do it. All right. Nobody knows how to make a tax-free, tax credit producing trust. I don't know nobody that got $1 million back from the IRS except me and the people that work with us. I don't even know nobody else. I mean, I don't know nobody else. Why? So that means that what? When you're talking to somebody, they're not going to go down the street and do business with nobody else. That's leverage. That's high level leverage. Everybody put HLL in the chat. HLL. That's high level leverage. Man, use leverage and use it at the highest level. You ain't got to be the one that's talking. Matter of fact, if you're the one that's talking and you really don't have a lot of experience and you really don't have a lot of say so, every time you talk, the person that you're talking to, your stock is going down, not up. Are y'all listening to me? I said, if you don't have a lot personally, a lot of personal experience, and you're doing a lot of talking, the chances of you making sales is going down the more you say. The more silent you are, and the more you refer what? The leverage to the person, the more they'll buy from you. And you ain't even talking. We are so used to talking to make some money. We don't, the idea, the concept of being a silent salesperson is like baffling to us because we've been trained through the school system to be poor. They taught us to talk a lot. They didn't teach us to collaborate. They taught us to be an individual person, and if you gonna make it, it's gotta you the one that's gotta make it. If it's gonna be done, if it's to be, it's up to me, and all that nonsense. That stuff ain't real life, brothers and sisters. That ain't how these multimillionaires make money. They make money leveraging each other. These billionaires make money leveraging each other. They ain't no smarter than me. They ain't no smarter than you. They just got enough common sense to know what make them do all that competing with each other while we leverage each other and get rich. Are you hearing me? You ain't gonna never have no money until you leverage somebody. Are you listening to me? And the best way to sell, the easiest way to sell, the fastest way to sell, the most effective way to sell is through silent leverage. Are you listening to me? So I would go to my website because I want to help you. Okay. I would go to my website, myfinancialiqchallenge.com. I would get to the bottom of it and just sign up to be an affiliate with us because it's free. You said, Brother Ricky, how am I going to get somebody to come to your classes? You send them the videos that I made. You ain't got to make no videos. Just forward the videos that I made. Y'all used to making money real hard because you're not used to selling nothing. Are you listening to me? Most people that's got some money, a little money like we got, and got the knowledge that we got, they don't even share it with people. Why? Because they some house Negroes. I'm not a house Negro. I'm a runaway slave. Are you hearing me? I'm in these streets for real until the day I drop dead. And what? And I'm going to help everybody that wants some help. And especially because you come from the same stuff I come from. I ain't got that attitude. I don't have a suburban attitude. All right. I got an attitude of somebody that came from nothing because I ain't have nothing. All right. I Listen, I've been tied up in my own crib with duct tape. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? I realize that life is extremely brief. Are you listening to me? And then what? We're going to all be up out of here sooner than later. So I'm going to do my work while I got time to do my work. And I'm going to make sure my brothers and sisters can make some money if that's what you want to do. And if you want to sell something, it's easier for you to sell it without even talking. Let somebody else do the talking. I already have communication skills. Why are you developing your communication skills? Leverage the communication skills of the person that's working with you. Are you hearing me? If that makes sense, I say, does that make sense, you all? If that makes sense, everybody put MS in the chat. All right? MS, if that makes sense. All right, I'm about to take Shantae to get something to eat. She's been real patient this morning. And it's time for us to go get some brunch. All right. And I didn't plan on talking today, but if God tells me to start talking, then I'll go ahead and start teaching. All right. So I love you all. Y'all have a great day. If you haven't attended our our free class and you want to learn what we do, then just put IMF in the chat. If you want to come to our next free International Monetary Fund class, if you want to come to it, or go to rickthewealthcoach.com. You're welcome. God bless you. You're welcome, brother. Appreciate you. Go to rickthewealthcoach.com and put in IMF here, or go to rickthewealthcoach.com and sign up for our free class, our International Monetary Fund class. All right. Hopefully that helped you all. Say, can you input your webpage? I can do that right quick. rickthewealthcoach.com. Well, my financial IQ challenge, I can put that in here. Hold on a second. My financial IQ challenge.com. Okay. I can put that in there right quick. You can copy and paste that. All right. So you can copy and paste that and go to the bottom of the page. Go to the bottom of the page where it says affiliate. It's real little. Sign in there. But also go to rickthewealthcoach.com and you can sign in and sell anything that we sell if you want to sell the things that we sell. All right. Hopefully you all have been blessed today and that you got some really good ideas. And you ready, baby, to get some? You ready? Okay. So hopefully y'all got some real good ideas. I love you all back. Have a great, phenomenal, fantastic, incredible, undeniable day. Be blessed in the city, be blessed in the field. And remember that stellar is a stellar does. Now get out here and get the people what they want, huh? Get the people what they want. Let's get paid. Let's